Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jeremy, founder of QuickMail.io.
Hey, what's up, cold emailers? This is Jack, Chief Lead Generation Officer at salesbread.com. Jeremy, what the heck are we talking about today?
Okay, well, we thought, it is 2021. We thought it'd be nice to have an updated version as to what cold emailer needs to pay attention to compared to a few years ago. I think we've done a lot of podcasts in the past helping beginners to start and what they should pay attention to. I think we're due for an update in 2021. A lot of things have changed.
Yeah. Shout out to my cousin who asked about some cold email tips. So yeah, this episode will be a crash course, hopefully pretty quick, to the point, minimal jokes from Jeremy, so we can get straight to the goods.
You're putting the bar really high today.
But yeah, so if you are looking how to get going without too much of a background on cold email today, this is your kind of episode. If you're seasoned cold emailer experts, I would imagine there's some newer things you haven't considered lately, or at least just a good refresher.
But
even if you're, yeah.
The point is that we spend a lot of attention on, expert level and so on. And I think we kind of neglect sometime, like, okay, well, if you're just starting as well, here are some quick things you can build on.
Yeah.
Right. So
well said, Jeremy. So, but just before we launch in, a quick word from our sponsors, salesbread.com. Today, most B2B companies lack the time or expertise to turn cold prospects into what? Leads and booked appointments. At salesbread.com, we bring you one lead per day by using ultra personalized cold emails and LinkedIn messages. Head over to salesbread.com/contact. Let us know who you're targeting, what you've tried. If you're brand new, if you want ideas, click that little send button and I'll get in touch with some inspiration to make your outbound efforts a little bit easier and more effective.
A little bit of variation today. Well, I'm the founder of QuickMail.io, one of the best automation platform when it comes to cold outreach. You're going to save a ton of time, and you can use also autowarmer to keep your deliverability high. It's free. So go ahead, head over to QuickMail.io and start a trial.
Wow, yeah, and
that was pretty good.
If you're curious,
first
that is
like,
good.
Like that, right? Cool.
You do it 100 times, it helps. So if you're curious why an auto warmer works, check out our previous episode all about auto warmers. It's enlightening. Okay, so with that, Jeremy, I'm brand new to cold email. It is 2021. What do I need to know? You've got some notes. I've got some notes. Let's just.
I'm pretty sure they will be similar. So I'm gonna bulk my 2 points into one. It's one thing you need to pay a ton of attention to that you didn't need a few years ago is deliverability. That's a hot topic as well today, and especially I would say around volume and auto warming. So like you mentioned, we had the previous episode talking about the auto warmer. If you have any question about auto warmer, go check it out. There is everything about it. Actually, that's not the previous episode because we got one in a roster. So it's like 2 episodes ago. Sorry about that. Yeah. Then you should have like everything about the auto warmer. It's a great episode. I even enjoyed it, rewatching it, and I didn't learn anything from it, but it was very enjoyable. So you should watch it. And the volume, in a few years ago, you could just send like hundreds and hundreds, and a lot of questions were about per day. It was like, how much more can I send emails per day? That was the type of question or the type of conversation. These years, I'm so much happier to see that a lot more people are aware and paying attention to their volume and, staying under the radar, not like sending too much and as a spammy stuff. So for me, that's deliverability. You need to pay attention to that first compared to an afterthought a few years ago.
Okay. So how do you know if you are doing deliverability incorrectly today? It's pretty simple. If you see open rates below 20%, red alert, danger zone, this is not Mailshake. Oh, hell. This is not
it's okay. It's one of our competitors. It's not as good as
it's not MailChimp. It's not Constant Contact. It's supposed to be getting ideally above 50% open rates. That's what you should be shooting for, right? Now, if you run into issues, auto warmer today will help you. What else will help you? The volume that you send, as Jeremy mentioned. We haven't hit on sending to verified only emails, and I'm going to add that. 2017, I was guilty of sending to risky catch-all emails, but today it's grossly expensive to send to these kind of email addresses that it's not even an afterthought. Yeah, and everybody will say, but I don't want to throw away 40% of my list. You have to. You have to move on, get more creative with how you build a list. Verified emails only.
It's so funny. You know what that makes me think of, Jack? Like a few years ago, it was like if you're in Disney World and having, all those rides like the Typhoon Lagoon and stuff like that. And nowadays it's just like, those streets where you have to drive, nicely and, everything is
wear your seatbelt.
There you go.
Drive the speed limit.
There you go.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, the Wild West days are over.
But the cool thing I would say is like I have more and more conversation when even people starting, they're way more responsible. It actually like caught me by surprise this year. So I don't know if this year specifically the word has been going out or more listeners of this podcast, but this is really, really a good news for us,
I'd say so. And yeah, the spammers are going to continue to have their messages end up in the spam folder more often these days, which is good for those of us on the up and up, following the rules, so to speak. So Jeremy, you talked about lower volume these days. So in order to still make cold email effective, you have to compensate for better response rates.
That's right.
No longer will you be happy with a 3% reply rate. That's a bad campaign today. Why? Because you can't just throw a lot more prospects into that campaign and be happy about it.
I'll give a caveat to this one because I think in the past, if you had less than 40% 40% reply rate, then it was considered like not a great campaign. But these days, people are more happier with just 10%, right? Where in the past, you had to had like hit 20%. Now, when you hit 20%, it's really good campaign. So I think the expectation also lowered in 2021. Like it's okay to only get 10% and you will still call it like a successful campaign. So one way or another, you have to make that one work.
But 3%, that I would still put in the danger zone. Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, so how do you bring your reply rates up to the double digits, right, in 2021? Now, if you are a complete beginner, here's my tips. You want to write an email, send it to your clients, your customers, have them read it and give you feedback. That's the fastest way to turn a kind of a bad email into a kind of a good email. Okay, it can be as simple as sending it to 3 customers that like you, having them reply with their thoughts. I can think of a consult where someone actually did this and one of their customers replied saying, don't forget to include blank. That's the thing on the demo that really hooked me. Some of the best firepower that a marketer could have. Now, if you do that and you still want an even better campaign, video today will allow you to mess up a little bit more. It's a way to slow down the volume you're sending, but it also happens to build a lot of reciprocity for the prospect that's receiving it. So even if the video is all right, you probably will be able to use it to increase your response rate. Keep it under 2 minutes, but show the prospect that you're taking some time out of your day to really personalize this for them. Don't read from a script 100% of it. You should make the beginning, talk about their business, talk about why you decided to reach out. And even if the pitch is, so-so, you'll probably be finding a better response rate just because you're going the extra mile with video. And then as you get feedback and more confidence, you can transition to text only to run your campaigns.
So you're recommending people starting cold outreach in 2021 do play with videos? Is that did I get that right?
Yeah, I do recommend that because an average video can still wow somebody today. Not probably a year from now or 2. I think it's starting to become a regular practice. But right now, sending videos, I talk to a lot of founders who say, yeah, we've been running such and such campaigns. Our video ones are still the winners. I'm not really sure if that'll keep going, but at the moment, it seems like an easy, a brute force way to get more replies.
It's an interesting one.
Skills.
My theory is the following. I think in 2021, a lot more people are aware of all the automation that exists around cold outreach. And therefore, sending a personalized video do force some reciprocity. This person actually did take time to build a video. And so therefore, I'm going to take time to reply.
That's all it is.
Right?
They may not buy what you're selling, but
Exactly.
they probably will give you feedback.
And I think that's close to my point as well. I think in 2021, you need to effectively spend more time on personalization. So lower volume, more personalization. And I mean by that, don't do fake, generic type of personalization, like, hey, big fan of your product, and then carry on with your pitch. Do find something specific, because nowadays everyone knows that there is automation involved. So you have to do the sort of like extra miles effort.
Agreed. I've got a note here on follow-up. So 2017, 18, I remember the number everyone was throwing out was 8 touches.
Even 12.
Email campaign, 12. Yeah, and
that worked.
I think I did like a 15-step cold email campaign, and we still got good leads on the 14th and 15th touch. I remember the last email was a limerick, Jeremy. We were just like throwing the kitchen, a limerick, an Irish poem.
Oh, I see.
Mr. O'Reilly went to the, and like, and we said something cheesy like, oh, you know, hopefully that got a chuckle. Should we talk something? And lo and behold, it did get 2 people out of however many to engage positively. But today, don't do that. Why? Because it's at a cost to your deliverability that is not worth the 2 extra replies that you would get at the 12th touch. Okay. My recommendation has changed. I'm going to say have 5 steps or less in your cold email campaign today. Go to other channels if you need to follow up more. Does that make sense? Would you agree?
I will basically, hold on, I had an idea, which is similar, but it's more like, okay, I got it. So I would say before you, beginner 2021, right? Before you start building your sequence with a lot of follow-ups, you can effectively do 1 or 2 follow-ups initially. Don't do bump emails. You know, look at our past podcasts when we're talking about how to build a proper follow-up. But I would say do pay more attention to the objections or rejections that you get than you would in 2017. 2017, it doesn't matter if 50% reject, you know, your emails. Like, so what? We got so many other emails we can use. But here, you're gonna have to pay close attention to all the rejection you're getting and automatically try to improve your cold email messages based on that. Like much more so than a few years ago.
I'm gonna add, I've got 2 more points and then I'm done here, but this is an unpopular recommendation I have, but I think you should be adding a phone step even today if you're brand new to cold email, simply to get more feedback in the door so that you can run better campaigns faster.
Are you scaring a lot of people here, Jack? You know, if they're doing cold emails because they can't, you know, pick up the phone.
Well, okay, there's probably a lot of truth to that, which is a shame because cold calling can be a little bit fun if you don't actually need to do it for other reasons besides just getting feedback on your messages. So
hey, should we just rehearse like you know, 30 seconds max? Ring, ring.
Yeah.
You know, you're sending me an email. Yeah, you just send me an email and then you just ring, ring.
Hey, Jeremy.
Oh, we'll do it the other way around. Otherwise, I have to do it.
Oh, no. I'm going to be calling you.
Okay, you're phoning me. Okay, so, hello. Who's got my number?
Hey, Jeremy.
Yep. Who's calling?
Jeremy, hey, it's Jack from SalesBread. Did you see my message? I just sent you one.
I'm sorry, I'm messing around with you.
Along.
Okay, sorry, I'm playing along.
Yeah.
What is it about? Can you refresh my memory?
Sure thing. Yeah, I sent it at 9 o'clock this morning. It was about email deliverability. I was checking in on how your open rates were doing.
Oh, yeah, we're not quite interested. We're actually insert, you know, kind of objections, right?
Fair enough. So be like, hey, totally get it. And I'm out of here in 30 seconds. But just before I go, I want to do a better job of the next person I approach. Do you have any feedback for me? I mentioned X and I mentioned Y. Are those compelling at all?
that's great. At this stage, I'm engaged with you. So I'll say like, oh, okay, well, right now we actually don't need it. But you know what? Just call me again in 3 months and then let's see if this comes. Because then now we have a relationship, right? You actually just don't ask anything from me, but now you're in my mind like, okay, I know Jack. He's, he approached me pretty well. So it doesn't cost more than that. So just do that. And you will find a few assholes. If you phone me, for example, I'll be a total asshole because my phone number is only for family. So don't phone me. But, it's okay. Sure. It's part of the game, right?
There you go. And as a tip, try and get hung up on 10 times. If that's your goal, you're going to have a much easier time. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that is helpful. I think the turning point was, okay, not a problem. I'm not trying to get you to do anything different, just some helpful feedback.
It's awesome.
I felt the mood shift when you did that. So thanks for playing along, Jeremy. You're a good sport. And last tip, if you want your cold emails to stick out like a bald koala in the bamboo forest here, in a good way, right? In an important good way. It's prospect better, prospect more intelligently. Please, this is, I would shout it from the rooftops. If you're new to cold email, you're probably going to build a crappy list your first go round. That's a real
don't buy lists. Yeah.
Well, okay, don't buy a list, but even better, like, okay, maybe you're an accountant and you say, Jack, I can offer my services to all small businesses. That's a red alert. If your list is bigger than 10,000 businesses, it's not a list, it's a market, and you need to refine. So to do that, take a very hard look at the last customers that came in the past 3 months, and mentally or actually get a spreadsheet out and label them, put them in buckets from what, not industry. Industry is too vague. You can apply 12 different industries to one company, but put them in a bucket. So you may put them in buckets on if they are a solo founder. Think psychographics, like what was the reason they purchased? Oh, they were tired of hiring. They were whatever. You need to make specific buckets that about half of your best customers can fit into. If not half, look for the best 20%.
Yeah.
And that's when you start to build a list of prospects that are very likely to need your service. The more attributes you can filter on, the better. And please, like that, if you're really lost, pick your favorite customer that you've worked with, and then find 10 businesses that know them. So they are very much in the same space. Maybe they're not competing, but they're certainly going to know that customer. Come up with a one sentence, like social proof. It could be a little snippet of a mini case study, something where you're going to present what you've done to this company they recognize, and send it to 10 people that will certainly know that company. And that's a much better place to start with prospecting than I got 10,000 companies I could send this to, right? So think super small, 10 at a time in the very beginning.
Love it. And in fact, my last point is actually the opposite of something that became more difficult. It's actually something that became easier. It's that prospecting and getting, not prospecting as in the sense that you're mentioning, but finding the email of someone became much easier these days than it used to be in the past. So, a few things did improve, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, you can get a lot of details with that company domain, first name, last name, and a lot of the Chrome extensions that'll try and help do stuff on Sales Navigator. There's some fabulous tools. Try and keep it light in the beginning, because you need to do a lot of action, and then later you can start to supplement with automation. In the beginning, it's crazy manual. At the end, it's crazy automated, but there's that ride to get there. Check out course.quickmail.io if you are wondering, how do you get to that course? Do you have a pitch for us, Jeremy?
It's not a pitch. It's basically, if you think like we've been rambling too much and throwing too much information, and you have this information overload, or you simply want to know more and you're craving for more information, like Jack said, just go to our course. It's neatly organized. You could go and watch all or 200, episodes, or you can just have everything neatly organized, plus some walkthrough that you can nicely watch. So you build up also your confidence of doing it yourself. Go to course.quickmail.io and do yourself a favor, or offer it to a team, one of your team member, if you have the team capacity and don't want to do it yourself. I think that's an easy way.
It's such a no-brainer. Shout out to our course members. Thank you for your support, and keep the course updated so that you can continue to do a better job at cold email than your competition. So Jeremy, thanks for a great conversation.
Thanks, Jack. Bye.
See ya.